Get gaming.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Directional Podcast. This is on the 21st of March, 2016. Today, I am joined by TheCyria, a.k.a. Julie Elmkvist Hansen. Wait.
Hey, guys.
And we've got our very own Jotaro, Johnnie Rogers.
Hey, hi, everybody.
So, without further ado, because I don't want to make this one too long, what have you guys been playing?
Well, you should go first, JJ.
To be very honest, I was studying all of this week. I'm sorry, I did not touch my PC for longer than 45 minutes. I'm sorry.
Aww.
Well, I mean, priorities, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Whenever I get into like exam periods, I tend to grab to my consoles more than I do outside of them. But yeah, all right. So let's jump over to Julie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, first of all, I've still been playing Stardew Valley. Oh my god, it's so good.
Why haven't you just like migrated to Animal Crossing at this point?
I don't know, but I need to finish it. That's because I'm married now, and I'm only missing 2 bundles for the community center, and there are kids about to happen, and I want the achievements.
Oh wow!
That is the worst excuse to have kids I've ever heard. I want the achievement.
Achievement unlock. Give birth. Okay.
Yeah, well, it has to have like a witty name, so it's probably Stretch or something like that. Stretch Armstrong.
Oh god, that's so wrong.
Wizard Sleep.
Oh, poor character in Stardew Valley. Anyways, I've reached 62 hours now, so I think I played it enough. Really.
Casual.
Other than that, I've played some World of Warcraft. Just some minor leveling on my hunter, some grinding on my warlock. I've also joined a raid with my guild on my shaman, and I was like, I remember why I like doing this now. But yeah, it's not gonna happen too often, I think.
As soon as I heard a good friend of mine raid like a while back, hearing him rant and I was remembered exactly why I don't like this anymore. So
exactly. Well, for me, it's like when I'm first there, I like it and it's so much fun. But like that whole day before we actually go raid, I'm just like, oh, why did I promise away 3 hours of my night to do this?
Yeah, exactly. like the first 10 minutes, it's all like awesome and cool, but then afterwards, you get that. You get that.
I wish I could just log off now.
Yeah.
I guess because it starts to feel like a chore rather than you enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, at some point, you could always do the like, oh no, shit, my internet's about to fail.
I'm actually...
Or if you're in TeamSpeak or something, you click off your mic on and off, and you try to
like lag.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if I should tell you this, but it's kind of bad. But
you have done this, I know.
Yes, like a long while back when I was in like a semi-hardcore raid group. There were some bosses where we were doing progression, and the wipe count was just ridiculous, and we were going in for another wipe night, and I was just like, I just wall plug my PC and just be like, oh, I have no idea what happened. It must be my internet.
Holy shit! I just got a message on my phone remember, I told Julie this before the show. Sorry to interrupt, by the way. But there was this GIF on Reddit on combined GIFs. I was browsing all, and I saw this GIF about somebody walking through Viridian Forest in Pokemon, either Red or Blue. I couldn't tell. And there was, and he was walking through this patch of grass. But me having watched a lot of speedruns, I knew that those patches of grass cannot actually generate encounters. So I posted that, and I posted like a route how to get through the forest without having like anything more than 3 encounters at most. So I just got a message on my phone saying that comment's been gilded. They popped my gold cherry. I'm so excited.
Aww.
Aww.
Clap.
You have now been inducted into a FAQ review. Nice, man.
Although the thing is, it's like that's like $7.50, and apparently somebody thought my comment was worth that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. All right, Julie, back to you.
Yeah. I've been playing Time Mysteries, both game 2 and 3, which are like point and click adventure detective games. I mean, I like those kind of games, especially if I'm doing something else, like listening to podcasts or watching streams or whatever. It's relaxing. Anyway, I finished both of them. And I've been playing Pokemon Omega Ruby as well. Basically, I've just been derping around, to be honest, just, diving for treasure and all that kind of stuff, and just
treasure, yar,
yar, and just enjoying my Pokemons. Other than that, I haven't played anything else. I did buy Spyro Dawn of the Dragon and Castlevania Mirror of Fate today, though, for my Nintendo DS. So, hype.
The 3DS. Oh, like the 3DS or?
Oh, the 3DS, yeah.
I think I have Mirror of Fate too. Let me check. Oh no, wait! I lent it to someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I have the exact same game, and God, I could not get into it. I was like, okay, this is going to be like old school Castlevania, but no, it's not. It's like the 3D Castlevania.
Well, it definitely is the for the 3DS. I'm not sure. I've heard a lot of good about it, and I picked it up at GameStop, and I was just like, meh, I'll buy it. Spyro is just Nintendo DS though.
All right, yeah, I was about to say it. Like, I didn't know there was a Spyro game for 3DS.
No, it's just normal DS. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh, I remember the demo of that.
The only thing I remember is the one I think we discussed last epised. The demo on the PS1, and
yeah,
I played through that so many times. It was
so
much fun, and that was before my my PlayStation got JTagged, so I could play like copied games. I know I'm not endorsing this, and I know it's illegal, but I didn't do it. My dad did. So
blame the parents.
Yeah, but that demo was so good, and I played it so much. And at some point, my dad came home with like, I think it was 200 PlayStation games. Like, these are yours, because he took my PlayStation away, and I was like, why did you do that? Like, what was that for? Yeah, and I actually got to I got in the car with him, and we took my PlayStation to somewhere in Rotterdam. And he said, like, stay in the car. And he brought, he took my PlayStation and he left it there. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? And then a couple of days later, he explains, like, because I didn't have my PlayStation at the time. And he explains, like, I got it J-tagged, or at least the Dutch term. Yeah. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? And suddenly he pops out like this grocery bag full of copied games, going like, there you go, now you can play all of these. And I was like so psyched. Super there was so many games that I would have never tried if I didn't have that kind of thing. And
yeah,
the PlayStation 1 kind of through that kind of, it was a system of my childhood, really. because there were so many games. Oh my god.
I feel like your dad was like the biggest criminal right now, just putting you in the car and be like, stay in the car. We're in a bad neighborhood.
No. He just wanted to keep it a surprise, and he walked into a shop. And I was like, what? But I remember once saying that I wanted a PlayStation. I was a kid, and I was never serious about it, but I wanted a PlayStation. And one day, on my birthday, he just brings in a PlayStation, and I was like, oh my god. And I was like all stoked. Wow. But then he said like, okay, so then I was like, okay, let's play some games. And I remembered, oh shit, you need a memory card for this thing. And I said, oh, all I need is a memory card so I can save my games. And what does he do? He like puts his hand into his jacket pocket and he's like, you mean this one? Then he gives it to me. Aww. And like the exact same day, a couple of friends of my parents back then came over and it gave me a second controller. So that was like, oh my god, so many games. Man, good times, nostalgic.
Yeah. Well, it's fun talking about stuff like that. But
I know.
What have you been playing this week?
Well. Actually, the thing I've been playing the most by far is SMITE, which I've been talking about before, like the PS4 alpha. It's still pretty good. Like even for an alpha, like it's crashed on me 2 times, and that's an alpha, a closed alpha. So that's actually pretty good. And they've been doing all these promotions and events where you can, for instance, you can do quests now, as the PC version does. You can do quests like play 2 games as a guardian and get like a little bit of favor, like 300 favor, which is the currency you use to buy gods.
Yeah.
And there's cool ones like for instance, play 3 games with a Chinese god, play 2 games as a guardian, which is a tank basically, and the other one was like play 2 games in a party, for instance. There's all these ways to earn favor now, so unlocking champions is a very quick process. Even though at some point I won't have to, because when they do the whole account migration thing, I'll get every champion in the game.
Yeah.
But it still feels kind of nice, and the game runs well too. And there's actually been a little bit of talk about this. It's not big enough to put in a news article, but Hi-Rez has said that 60 FPS is technically possible. It wasn't possible on the Xbox One, and that's why they didn't do the optimization to put it in the PS4 version either. But they're trying to make 60 FPS work, and that would be so good. Holy shit, that would be so good.
Well, that sounds really exciting. And I'm surprised that, like, you know, you have such a positive experience with it when it's still just in closed alpha. Like, that says a lot, I think.
Well, they do have, like, a lot of experience when it comes... Well, not a lot of experience, but they have ported the game to Xbox One before.
Yeah.
And the Xbox One and PS4 are more similar, like, architecture-wise than you might think. So there wasn't, comparatively, there wasn't a lot of work to be done.
Ah, okay, that way.
But I think the closed alpha is coming to an end now, and then it will transfer to closed beta, and some things will happen. So far, they've also been offering double experience, double worshippers, and double favor. Worshippers are basically god mastery. Experience, well, that kind of speaks for itself, and the favor is, as I said, the currency. So that's all doubled. And what SMITE does well is that when you level up, you get things like favor boosters for a day or something. You when you reach level 15, you get a booster that doubles your favor gain for like a day, which is cool. Like, you can even let that sit in your rewards and claim it at the point where you're like, okay, so I now have an entire day where I can play as much SMITE as I want, and then you can do it and open up the booster.
That's
pretty
cool,
good.
though, that you don't have to use it right away.
No, but there's also things like, for instance, champion rentals, or god rentals, I should say. I've played way too much League of Legends. But there's rentals, like, for instance, there's a rental for Sun Wukong. And I was like, okay, I'm not interested in him yet, but then at some point I was like, okay, I can buy a new champion now. Let's check it out. And I used the rental, and I was like, okay, so do I want to get him or not?
Yeah.
You know, I could try out the champions for a week, so that's a long period. That's a lot of games you can play. Opted not to buy the champion or god at some
For
point,
a week,
but
yeah.
yeah, I opted not to buy it. But it's so cool. You can even rent gods like with currency too. You can rent them for like a day for 200 favor. And 200 favor is easily gotten. You get the first win of the day in every game mode. In every single game mode, you get 100 favor for every first win of the day. So it's easily gotten.
Yeah.
But yeah, other things I've been playing. I've dabbled into Fallout 4 again for the first time in a long time.
How did it go?
Well, actually quite good. I was somewhere in the last about third of the main story, and I really wanted to finish that. But what happened was there was this part with the Freedom Trail, which you have to follow, and it's very cryptic. But there's this trail along the floor along the ground actually, that you have to follow to a certain point. But me being colorblind, I don't do that really well. Like some parts of the trail will be in some different kind of stone, so you can follow it easily. But then there's stripes on the ground, which I can't always see correctly. So I kind of gave up. Had to look up a walkthrough for that. Like, okay, so just which direction do I go in? That's all I need to know. So I went into that direction, and I followed the trail as well as I could, and I continued the story. I played along, and the reveal, the twist is kind of good. I already knew it. I voluntarily spoiled that for myself. But yeah, it's still a good game. Like, I'm not saying it's game of the year or anything. It's just solid, basically.
Yeah,
it's a solid game. It offers a good experience, and there's a lot to do. So if you're ever bored, you can hop into that, and it works. At this point, I'm that strong. At this point, I'm not really that strong, but I'm like level 23, so that's not that high. But enemies don't really pose a challenge until they become so like legendary or something like that. And as soon as that happens, I just bust out the Fat Man. Yeah. Fire a mini nuke and just blow them all up. So there's not a lot of difficulty to it, but I am playing on normal. So if I ever want more of a challenge, I can just up the difficulty. Anyway, next game. The next game, for instance, I've played Animal Crossing a lot. Because of a lot of people talking about Stardew Valley, I was actually considering buying it for a second there, but I was like, no, I already have something that's very similar and that I've already played, so I already know how it works, and I have to learn an entire new game. And I just fired that up again, and it's a new leaf on the 3DS, so it's very relaxing, and it's just very slow, very casual, I'm just gonna go catch some fish. I'm just gonna go gather some apples, or, decorate my house. And I just needed something to do.
Yeah,
and it worked well. It's still pretty good.
Actually, I did the same thing that you did, only in reverse. Like when I was at GameStop, I saw Animal Crossing, and I was like, should I just buy it? And then I was like, no, I have Stardew Valley, and I already know how that works.
No, return the games, get Animal Crossing. You will thank me. You will thank me. Animal Crossing is just the thing. It's one of those very laid back, casual experience games, but Nintendo has a lot of experience making those. They know how to make an Animal Crossing game appealing. They know how to make it work. So return the games you bought, go buy Animal Crossing, you will thank me.
Can I just buy it as an extra instead? Because I'm not partying with my Spyro.
All right.
You've been enjoying Spyro a lot then.
No, I bought it today. Like,
She hasn't
after
played
work.
it yet.
I haven't played it yet.
Oh.
Yes, it's going to be a mystery until the next time.
Dun dun. All right.
All right, so your
Um,
next game.
Yeah, I've been playing a couple of small games mostly. I've also played more Pokemon. I've also played more Codename Steam. I've let's see, I busted out the free PS Plus game for this month, which is Galaxy.
All right.
It's it draws inspiration from space anime, and it's a roguelike kind of a twin stick shooter kind of thing. It's pretty okay. It's solid. It's nothing more than that. It's a good
Alright.
experience. It's kind of fucked up that you have to start over like every time, but yeah, it's a roguelike, so what the hell do you want? Well,
Fair enough.
I've played more, but it's not really worth discussing, really. I've played more Ace Attorney on my phone, and pretty good. It's
Yeah.
really good, but I just haven't played it enough.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
All right. Well, that was basically all I had. So, let's move on to the topics. I'll start with myself this week. Last podcast we actually discussed. At some point, we discussed the fact that Xbox, or at least Microsoft, is opening the Xbox platform for PC crossplay and cross compatibility. Now, in the last week, and this is actually one of the news articles, but I wanted to talk about it now because it's a very good example, or at least not an example, but a cause, more like. What happens now is that Microsoft has said that they're opening up the Xbox platform for PS4 developers. So what happens is that at some point they're going to integrate, or at least Microsoft said they're open to integrating the PS4 system, the PSN system, into their Xbox Live, meaning that cross-play and cross-compatibility will be will be very much a possibility in the future. Now, Sony has not yet made an official statement on this. They said that something like that is in the hands of the developers and not in the hands of Sony themselves. They themselves are cautiously optimistic. There was an interview with Shuhei Yoshida at some point, and he actually said, like, of course, it's something that we would like to implement, but there is still the fact that we have to consider whether this is a good decision for us as a company. The technical side is the least worrying because they can get over that without too much effort. But they have to also kind of envision the scope of what happens. So is it going to be to a point where you can add Xbox Live people on your PSN friend list, or is it just going to be that you're going to be able to queue up with them in your favorite game? Yeah. So I'm wondering, what do you think this market will look like in, let's say, 10 years, when we're maybe two console generations farther along the line, where maybe these platforms have converged into one big gaming platform where Microsoft gets a slice of the pie, Nintendo gets a slice of the pie, and Sony gets their part as well? Or is it going to be the same where we have an Xbox, a PlayStation, and some kind of Nintendo console? It's probably going to be a Wii X or something, I don't know. But where they're all still on their closed and isolated networks. What do you guys envision for the future?
I find it kind of cool, actually. I mean that finally, like the heated discussions, the heated debates, the PS people versus the Xbox people, us versus them mentality is probably going to die down a little bit, and we all enjoy all our games, our favorite franchises in harmony. So I'm excited. I want to see how this is going to develop.
I think, like, at one point, I do like the prospect of it. On another hand, I'm kind of worried. Like, I'm thinking, like, is it going to be much competition though? Like, won't there come out a winner basically amongst like these consoles, where like one will be just better in some way, and then or cheaper or whatever, and everyone will just go for that one. Like, what will that do to the other companies is what I'm thinking. And like, and then at the same time I'm like, will there, well, there's probably not going to be any more special releases at that point, but like, is this happening because like, several consoles are becoming like kind of outdated compared to like, I don't know, for example, Steam and stuff like that?
Now, I have a very good idea about why this is happening right now. Because the last generation, Xbox 360 was clearly the winner, right? They outsold the PS3 through the course of the entire generation, and they came out ahead. And Microsoft has always been the one who was against cross-platform compatibility. In the time of the PS2, there was cross-platform play available. Like, very limited capacity, but it was available. Like, historically, it's always been Microsoft who's against this, but now they are losing the console wars by a very big margin. PS4, I believe, has sold over double the units the Xbox One has, and it's not looking any better for the Xbox One. Especially now that Microsoft is saying that they're at least aiming to get all the games they get on Xbox One working on Windows 10 as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one big unified platform. So why at this point would you buy an Xbox One?
Well, I guess it kind of just shows that Microsoft is putting the ball in the court and seeing who's going to pick it up, who's going to make the difference and change.
Well, I think PlayStation is gonna, because we have to call it PlayStation now, right? The division in charge of the PlayStation is now actually called PlayStation. Yeah. So PlayStation is gonna make this. I think they're gonna integrate this to a certain degree, where we'll at least see cross-platform matchmaking. And I think one of the first games will be games like Rocket League, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to take a while before we actually see the effect of this, before we see games, like big games, for instance, a Destiny 2 or 3 coming out for all platforms and actually be all platform cross-play, for instance. That could take a while. Yeah. But games like Rocket League, which are small in scope, basically, they're small in scope. It's only 6 players at a time, 8 maximal. And I think that because it was also one of the first games, or the first game, to implement PC to PS4 crossplay. Yeah. So I think games like that, or maybe a Rocket League 2, or maybe something else, like something small, something maybe competitive, that they're going to make cross-compatible. I hope actually, this...
Oh. Talking about that, they've actually started a tournament.
What, a Rocket League tournament?
They've started a Rocket League tournament you can sign up for, and it can be done with a partner or a friend or whatever, and it's done cross-platformed.
Oh, yeah, well, this doesn't surprise me a bit. Psyonix especially has, of course, they came out on PS4 first, and that was kind of a marketing strategy where they came out as the free PS Plus game. Yeah. So it was cannibalizing their own sales, but in a very smart manner, because the popularity shot through the roof because of that. Not a lot of people would have gotten this game if it weren't free, or at least it wouldn't have gotten the initial momentum that it needed to get everyone to buy it on other platforms, or after that month was over. Everybody played it at some point. It's also a very easy game to get into, but let's not get talking about Rocket League too much, or else this episode is going to drag on forever.
No, but I just wanted to add the small little bit to the small little bow to tie it off on. And if you guys still want to sign up for it, you guys can take a look at rocketleague.com/rules, and you guys can get a friend and register and play some Rocket League as well, if you guys are into it.
Boom.
Well, I'm into Rocket League, but not at a competitive level because I see these guys pulling off shit that I can't even fathom. Like, what? It's like these guys, they boost into the air and do one of those aerial goals, which is fine. I can kind of do that, I guess. But then they reverse in midair and then they hit the ball with the backside of their car. Just for style points. I don't get it.
Wow.
I really do not get it. Well, I do get why you would do it because it's fucking cool. But I don't get, like, how. But
Those
anyway.
are probably the guys who have like hours of FIFA behind them or something.
No, not FIFA. Not FIFA, actually. The two best players in Rocket League are the ones that are considered the best players. I think one of them is called Kronovi. I might be mistaken here. But those were players of the Rocket League's spiritual predecessor, which is I forget the name. It's like Super Atomic Rocket Power Battle Cars or something.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I know. Supersonic. All right, I got it. Supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars.
Oh, that was the original name for Rocket League, and
this was a separate game, and Rocket League is actually a sequel.
Yeah, but it was based off it. So I'm happy they did not opt to create the sequel. Just that name, version 2 or Ultra Booster Card Edition or something.
Hey, this is not a Naruto game, right?
Boom.
But yeah, I would love to see this, and Rocket League would be a great platform to try it out on. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Yeah. We're gonna take Johnny.
Hey guys, I had this topic written up because it was on my mind for like a few weeks before I needed to study and stuff. It's like a lot of video games I played when I was younger, and a lot of played in comparison to now. Stuff like when you played the original Link's Awakening DX or Link Legend of Zelda DX or something like that. And in comparison to a whole lot of newer games nowadays, the learning curve, or they made it too easy, where it feels like it doesn't take a lot of time for completion nowadays, where it's kind of the developers put in only enough hours so that you can play the game just enough to enjoy it, but then get bored of it to move on to a next one, more or less. It kind of... Do you guys get that sort of feeling when you guys play a game nowadays, or it's kind of like, it's a give and take to certain games, and it's, better for others?
Johnny.
Yeah.
Have you met Bloodborne?
Yeah. No. But I think that is like a throwback to like classics. That's like something you need. You learn it out of. You learn the mistakes what the monsters do. You learn how to counter. You learn to block. You learn to dodge. Those type of games are like, those are why those are like the big budget deals, because those harp on the nostalgic. The feels of the people who played those type of classic game before, where you didn't have like a description for every 15 thing for every 15 minutes that you have. Like, hey, listen, you see that thing over there? You can interact with that if you press that button, type of thing, pop up a prompt or those type of things. It's like you dive into the game, you die multiple times, and you learn not to make the same stupid mistakes that you were doing from the beginning. That's why those make the big bucks.
I think I've actually read an article about this a while back. Mm-hmm. The creative director of Pokemon. No, not the creative director. Someone else. I'm not sure what his name was again. Or I think it was the CEO of the Pokemon company. I'm not sure. Yeah, one of the big wigs at Pokemon actually said that there's a good reason that they were talking about Pokemon games in specific terms, but of course, this can be applied to many games these days. The reason they are being made easier and easier is because now people have to compete with smartphone games. That is the biggest reason, according to them, being that people can now pick up their phone and play this dumb
Candy
little
Crush.
arcade game. Yeah, for
whatever.
instance, not just Candy Crush, but they can play a game with a very low barrier to entry. Games that are crafted especially for people that don't really play games, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And they can pick it up and play it for 5 minutes, put it down. So why would someone play and we're taking Pokemon for this example because everybody kind of knows what the difficulty curve in that is.
Yeah.
Why would they?
E for everyone, more or less. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't always that way. But anyway,
That is true.
Yeah, definitely.
they are now. And a lot of people are falling into the trap where they're downloading Red and Blue and going like, I know this game by heart. This is going to be easy. Nope, not if you're used to the newer ones. But it's a good indication of people. Of course, the hardcore fans want something that's more difficult, want something that's more, not so much difficult, but steeper and not as hand-holding as the rest. But the casual audience, the ones that, not really casual, but the ones who don't want to spend hours learning a game, that's the biggest market. And it's all about the scope of your game. Is your game targeting those people that have 2 hours after work and want to play a game, of which there are millions, or is it going to cater to the maybe 10,000 people that are hardcore and want to finish that game no matter what and will do homework for it, basically?
Yeah. I think, like, you get what you buy, basically. I mean, there are so many games and they're all different. And I was thinking about it earlier when JJ told us our topic. And I was just like, because I was thinking about it. I was like, is there anything I can really compare? And I was looking in my Steam library and I was like, okay, I have this one platform game who's like a relatively new Rayman game, which is, just a plain platform game. And it's completely ease mode. And then I have Ori and the Blind Forest, which is just as new, also a platform game, and is so hard.
However, do you, and I'm not saying this to like as a personal attack, but is it just because you're not good at platform games, or that you're not used to the Castlevania progression, why you think Ori and the Blind Forest is hard?
No. Like, I grew up with platform games. Like, platform games is what I'm probably the best at.
Well, I mean more like the Castlevania type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because let's be honest here, Rayman was never that hard.
No. But that's what I'm saying, though. It's like you have two platform games, and they're published like in 2015, I think, both of them. So, I mean, this is not something about having a gap between when they were published. It's not like the Rayman game that I'm talking about. It's not like an old Rayman game. It's one of the newer ones.
No, I told you. That's what I said. It's probably just a scope thing. Do you, as a studio, want to target the wider audience? Because the easier a game is, the more people are able to play it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's like the target group, because I mean, you will find games that are really, really hard, like Bloodborne, and you will find games that are, playable by everyone and not really that difficult at all. And it just depends. What do you want? I mean, they're still making games for whatever you want. You just have to choose. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean,
target group. No, what I mean, dog.
Okay. No, I was so I guess to summarize, it's more or less it depends on what game you play, what game you pick up. Depends on what type of target group the franchise you're accustomed to playing is going for nowadays. And it depends on your dedication or loyalty to the franchise itself, more or less.
One more thing though. I because we talked about this like a few one of the earlier episodes anyway, and we talked about like how gaming was becoming like socially acceptable now.
Yes.
Whereas like back when we were kids, right?
Back in my day.
Back in our day, I mean, kids were playing games, yeah, but it wasn't that socially acceptable for adults like we are now to sit at home and have it as a hobby. Not in the same scope as it is today, and having, you know, mobile games on your phone and tablets and stuff like that. Like the globalization has opened up the gaming window for like so many new target groups, I think.
That's true.
Yeah. So that was my 2 cents.
Well, God, I had something.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, fuck. Okay. I had it right there.
You can do it.
Never mind. Would you have the conversation again? Maybe I'll get the same idea.
I was gonna try to see if I could fill up the dead air for a little bit. Like, from what I guess this comes from a point where I was looking at like a lot of the older RPGs, and some kind of an RPG kind of dude, and I was looking at some of the platformers in comparison, and a lot of the newer games where like BioWare games and stuff like that. And I noticed a lot of those type of games now. I guess it just became a little bit too much of the, you know, E for everyone type, and not so much that it become too difficult. And I liked what Bloodborne and those type of games
I got it.
doing. Eureka! Somebody has discovered water buoyancy. Let's go.
Okay. Not buoyancy, by the way. That's something entirely different. You're talking about Archimedes, who discovered how to determine the volume of an irregular object. But anyway,
no, it's by buoyancy. So the weight of the water when a ship is, like, when the water is parted from under the ship where it's being pushed apart. Yeah, it's
you know what?
Thing.
Whatever. Anyway,
okay. You're nerding out so much right now.
No, I'm trying to keep it a little bit on topic here.
Yeah.
One of the things that has changed, games are marketed now towards adults more than they are to children. Games used to be marketed towards children mostly, and children would get one game every single, not every single, but every once in a while they'd get a game, right?
Christmas birthdays, yeah,
mostly Christmas time, yeah.
And they get one game, and they'd have to make that count. There's no way to. There wasn't like cheap Steam games back then. You couldn't go into God knows where and get a bunch of bargain bin games because there weren't enough games to fill a bargain bin with, basically.
Yeah.
Until the video game crash, of course.
And you had to buy like those memory cards and stuff like that if you didn't want to lose everything you had every time you turn it off too. So.
Well, the memory cards were, most of the time, they weren't that expensive, but I don't think that's not really the point I'm getting to. The fact is, games were made harder back then, the notorious Nintendo hard, as they called it, to make them last longer, basically to stretch the content that was in there. So much that you would make it into a longer game just by increasing the difficulty.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that the lack of that these days is why games have gotten easier and easier and easier.
Yeah, because there's so much competition right now.
There's just too many games, and if you make your game too hard, people are going to stop playing it and they're going to go to something else.
Or you end up with like niches of people, like people who play Bloodborne.
Well, the thing is, I think that Bloodborne is not really a niche. I think it's more a group of people or Soulsborne games in general.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Like, it's more suited for a certain type of player who misses either the hard gaming or the more, the less hand-holdy type. And I think that in some way, these games fill a hole which other games couldn't fill. And I'm not saying it's niche, because Bloodborne sold really, really well, so you can hardly call it niche.
Yeah.
but it is very very specific, and it's very much kind of an endeavor that no other studio has made so far. And now a lot of studios are going back to the hard is good mentality, where things like Super Meat Boy, for instance, Super Meat Boy is notoriously hard as well. Some other games, get some hard games off the top of my head. God, there's not a lot of them, is there?
No,
We talked about this in the difficulty as a mechanic episode.
that's true. Where it's not like scaling difficulty nowadays. It's more like it's set by default setting, or you can change it whenever you feel like it, depending on how much time you have and stuff like that. It's
But yeah, I think we've exhausted this topic.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Did we get everyone?
No, well, we haven't done me yet.
And we haven't done you yet either.
Oh man, let's not go blue. Blue is the easiest kind of comedy. All right.
So
Let's
I'm gonna...
hear yours.
Yeah. Well,
And I mean the topic, by the way.
So my topic is, why is there a big lack of authorship in the gaming industry, and do we see that changing and improving? And what I mean, basically, is that most creative directors are not really getting the individual, cred that they deserve compared to the job they do. It's the companies, really, who we put these feats of strength basically on. Sometimes sequels are published with changing developers or by other companies, and yeah, what I was thinking is like, how many of the general gaming community can even name 10 or 5 developers at the top of their head?
Okay,
not
so
companies like seriously, like
Yeah.
gaming directors. And I know, like, obviously asking the two of you will be able to do it. But
well,
like
actually, like the ones I can name from the top of my head is obviously Kojima,
yeah.
Masahiro Sakurai,
Yeah.
because Smash. But he's more of an executive producer than he is a director, but you know what I mean, he's kind of the one in charge. And that is basically it. I don't know that many either.
I know, because I was thinking the same thing. What about you, JJ?
Kojima.
Kojima.
No. Koji Igarashi. Is that his name?
Alright.
Let me type that up for a minute.
I think
It was
it's
one of the
Igarashi, yeah.
developers. Is one of the developers of Castlevania, one of my favorite platformers.
Yeah.
His
it?
thematic stuff. That's kind of it. And, like Kojima,
Also,
I guess.
Keiji Inafune. The one, the person responsible for games like Mega Man.
Because this is like really strange to me, is that between us we can barely reach 5. and if you look at film, book business, etc., like enthusiasts, like people who are actually genuinely into it will be able to just keep naming names and names and names and names of authors and directors and stuff like that. But we're not able to as a gaming community. And I'm like, why are we pushing the creative directors' ingenuity and work over on the company and kind of, considering a company effort? And I do think that, like, the more popular a creative director is, like, the less replaceable they are as well. Like, kind of less chance to get fucked over, if that makes sense. Like, if you look at Kojima and what happened with him, I mean, he has a huge fan base today. And like he is a huge name, and he has fans, and people are aware of his name. I mean, we all knew who he was, and he's not, like, a company is not going to be able to just stomp him down the way that Konami tried to do, because he's so big, he's so out there, and people are actually paying attention to him. And that can't be said for so many other creative directors. And I think that's like really strange. And I'm wondering, like, do you guys see that changing? Do you think that like Kojima kind of took a punch for them?
I don't think so, honestly. I think that see, there's a discrepancy between authorship in games and that we see in movies or in books. Because the book is written by one person most of the time. And games are made by a team of people. Like, that team can be hundreds of people, or it could be 4, or it could even be 1. Oh, also Phil Fish, by the way, just, saying. But, yeah, it's made by a team of people. And because it's a team, the team gets recognition. The studio does, and not the publisher most of the time. Because everyone knows that, for instance, I'm trying to think of a good example here. That Metal Gear Solid is not made by Konami, it's made by Kojima Productions. And I think also one of the reasons that Kojima is so prolific is the fact that he has his name everywhere, even in the name of his studio. But for instance, The Witcher is made by CD Projekt Red. We don't know a lot of the people who worked on that individually because they're a team. Same thing goes for Destiny. We know it's made by Bungie. For instance, it's that's why there's such a difference, because it's made by a team of people with a collective effort to bring out one product, as opposed to an industry like books where there's one person who writes one book, or in the movies where one director has basically creative freedom over the entire movie. Yeah. And I think that's the discrepancy that we need to keep in mind when we think about this. And I don't think that's going to change. If anything, I want more people to be able to name their favorite developers, their favorite development studios. I want more people to be able to name those, because a lot of people that aren't way into gaming like we are can't name the studio that made their favorite game.
Well, like if you were saying like a studio, yeah, I can name off some studios, but not the specific developers that went on them, though.
But how many of, like, because like you said, Dennis, like you would like more people to, in general, to be able to name studios at the top of their head. Do you think like there are a lot of people who are able to do that, like even that today? Because I don't think there are.
There aren't a lot of them. If you ask the more hardcore gamers, of course they know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the general public and ask them, especially a trick question like, hey, Call of Duty, which one is that? And of course that goes between, I think, Treyarch, Obsidian, and Activision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, well, see, that's what I mean. Like, I can, even the games I don't play, I can name off the top of my head. And that's because I keep track of the industry, right? I keep track of everything.
Yeah.
So there's that's the difference. And I think that if more people are able to name studios, then the studios will get more credit, and people will be more incentivized. If they know the studio of a game, for instance, they know they really, really like, for instance, Pokémon, and they see, oh, hey, it's a Game Freak game. And somebody would like to try another good game. They're like, oh, this game is made by Game Freak. Let's try that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that if you ask like most people like on the street, basically, like who made Pokemon, everyone would just say Nintendo.
Yes.
Oh.
That's because Nintendo is the publisher, of course. And
yeah, exactly.
It's Nintendo exclusive, and Nintendo also owns a very big stake in Game Freak. That is given. I think they own like 49% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
or the Pokemon company does. I'm not sure, but Nintendo holds a very big stake in Game Freak, so it's not like 100% incorrect.
True.
But yeah, that is indeed a problem.
Yeah. Just I don't know. I think that would be pretty cool if they got, the studios got and the directors got more recognition, basically.
I'll be honest,
Yeah.
I also don't know a lot of, like, if you ask me, for instance, I'm looking at my 3DS game case right now because it's in front of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are no developers on the games, right? Except for Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, but I could have told you, like, by default that was made by Capcom because I'm a Monster Hunter fan. But for instance, there's a Zelda game, which is first party, right? But things like Codename Steam, Tales of the Abyss, Xenoblade Chronicles, Fantasy Life. Oh yeah, Fantasy Life I do know, by the way. That's level 5.
But isn't Xenoblade Chronicles by Square Enix, though?
I honestly don't know, and that's the problem. that is the problem. Like, I know Bravely Default, which is also in the game case, is made by Square Enix, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because people just click through the splash screens. They don't care. They don't care that your game is powered by the Havoc engine, that it plays best on AMD, and that it's made by this and this studio. They just want to play the game.
Mm.
But things like CD Projekt Red, what they did with The Witcher is you open the game case, there's actual shit in there. There's a DVD. There's the soundtrack on DVD. There's a map. There's a booklet. And there's a personal thank you card for spending your hard-earned money on that game.
Aww.
By CD Projekt Red, like one side is like black and has the text on it in white, and the other side is like red and has their logo on it. And that is how you get recognition for your studio.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we've kind of exhausted this, right?
I agree. We should probably head over to break then.
All right. So, everyone, I do want to make a quick announcement here. The podcast is going to be recorded on Sunday again. This is for you listeners out there who are very uptight about your schedule. It's going to be recorded on Sunday again, so Jeffrey can join us. Also, I do want to remind you that this podcast is brought to you by GetGaming.net, your friendly gaming community open to everyone, for whatever, no matter your age, your race, your gender. It doesn't matter. Get Gaming is open to anyone. They play a lot of Rocket League. They play a lot of Euro Truck Simulator. I have no idea what to think of that, but they do it.
What's wrong with Euro Trucks, man? Sitting in a truck for like 4 hours straight, driving across the country.
I guess I don't see the fun of it because my dad's a transport planner, so I'm pretty familiar with the world, and I've seen it up close. I'm like, I wouldn't play a game about that. But what I wanted to say is that everyone's welcome. So do check them out at get-gaming.net. You can see the members of the community streaming. You can catch our podcast there, and you could even join the forums. Sign up if you'd like. So that's basically all I had to say, and now let's take a break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the DPod, your directional podcast. And we're coming right at you with the new releases for this week. So, for Monday, March the 21st, we have Hyperdimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed for the PC, Heathen Engineering's Terran for PC, Alchemist's Awakening for PC. We have Spaceman Sparkles 3D for PC. Shake Your Money Simulator 2016 for PC, We also have Republic remastered, and there's a lot of releases for this week. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but it's coming out for PC and PS4. And we also have Day of the Tentacle remastered for PS4 and Vita. Sebastian Loop Rally Evo for Xbox One and PS4. Trackmania Turbo also for PS4 and Xbox One. We have Polaris Sector for PC. Fallout 4 Automatron. It's the DLC, as you might have noticed, for PS4, PC, and Xbox One. Those are on Tuesday, by the way. So my bad there. 101 Ways to Die, also for PS4. Out of the Park Baseball 17, also for PC. We have Stranger of Sword City for Xbox One, and weirdly, the cover art on the website we use is for the PS Vita. I'm not sure what that is about, but we also have Nelly Coolot, The Foul Fleet for PS4. For PC. With Cat Lateral Damage for PS4. Now, I've seen things about this, and it's a first-person destructive cat simulator. So you're actually a cat in first person, and you have to knock as much shit on the ground as you can. It sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, that sounds like
Yeah. I think it's been streamed a lot so far. Early access streams. It's been very popular. We have Dragon Fantasy, The Black Tome of Ice for PS4, Borstal for PC, Mimpy Dreams for PC. We have Candace DeBebe's Incredibly Trick Lifestyle for PC. Okage Shadow King for PS4. Paranautical Activity for Vita. Okay. Warheads, that's War HEZ for PS4. Homeworld, Deserts of Karak Soban Fleet Pack for PC, which is a DLC, apparently. We have Chronicle RuneScape Legends for PC. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. We have Brick Inventions for PC, Farming 2017, the simulation for PC. Julie, that's for you. Solstice for PC, Zombie Gochi for PC, Wave the Samurai Free for PC, Bacteria for PC, Awakening the Red Leaf Forest Collector's Edition for PC. And those are on Wednesday, the 23rd of March. Now, we have Thursday, March 24th. We have Samarost Free, Vulcan, Lords of Mayhem for PC. We have Shantae, Risky's Revenge Director's Cut for Wii U. Slain for PC. Trackmania Turbo for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. I think, didn't we already? No, whatever. Hyrule Warriors Legends for 3DS. Do keep in mind that this is a new 3DS enhanced game, so if you do own a new 3DS, then you will have additional features. Marooners for PC. Pause, a Shelter 2 game. Okay, that's PC. The Descendant for PC. Polyrace for PC. Total War Attila, Tyrants and Kings for PC. Hush Hush, Unlimited Survival Horror, also for PC. Tiny Guardians for PC. Witch and Hero 2 for 3DS. Hollow Drive for PC. Hydra Slayer for PC. Battlestorm for PC. Infinity Runner for Wii U. The Sea Will Claim Everything for PC. Jelly Killer for PC. Benji Challenges and Amok also for PC. And let's see, by the way, the Hyrule Warriors Legends release I was talking about on Thursday is actually the release for Australia and Europe. And on Friday, March 25th, it's going to come out in the Americas. So, Republic for PS4 in Australia and Europe. Alakeen's Gun for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Not sure what that is. Take the Dream 9 IX, as it's written, for PC. Emergency 2016 for PC. Ages of Earth. Protonovus Assault for PS3. Wow, that's still getting games. Trackmania Turbo for Xbox One. Tropico 5 Penultimate Edition for Xbox One. Villagers for PC. Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. Bonus with Amiibo for Wii U. We have Mysterious Castle for PC, Zombies on a Plane for PC. Oh god, I can already feel the references. Galactineers for PC, Machinecraft for PC, Shantae Risky's Revenge Director's Cut for Wii U. That's in Australia. Of Carrots and Blood for PC, Mini Golf Mania, Edgar I Am Caligula, Prince's Edge, Dragonstone, Under Zero, all also for PC, and those are for Friday, March 25th. So that there's not a lot of big releases this week except for Hyrule Warriors Legends, I guess.
Yeah.
Total War, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good scoring games on the list either. Well, we do have Fallout 4 Automatron.
True. Yeah.
Make your own robot. Or should we call it Make Your Own Robot Simulator 2016? Because that seems to be a thing now. All right. Anyway, we've exhausted our list of new releases for this week, and we're gonna head over to news. Now, we don't have a lot of news articles, but the ones we do have are pretty big. So why don't you take it away, Julie?
Well, there was a Pokemon creative design director who was killed in an accident. Eric Medell was the creative design director at the Pokemon Company International and an illustrator for the TFG of Pokemon. And yeah, we offer our condolences, and it's sad to see someone who's that bright and so great at his job just pass away.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing much more to say about that. Just that he will be missed, and we hope that his legacy continues.
Indeed.
All right, JJ, you take the next one.
Well,
on a more cheerful note.
Yeah, on a more cheerful note, not to drag it down. Well, PlayStation VR update, release date and price announced. Bundle and pre-order starts next Tuesday. Well, not next Tuesday, that is tomorrow, basically. 22nd of March, you'll be able to pre-order your PlayStation VR. And if you guys want to also know what's going to be in that bundle, you'll be getting a PSVR headset, PSVR cables, stereo headphones, PlayStation VR demo disc, which it's going to have like a whole bunch of demo games, I guess, a PlayStation camera, 2 PlayStation Move motion controllers, PlayStation VR Worlds disc. And you can pre-order all of this on Amazon starting March 22nd, which is tomorrow. It's a limited time offer, so get yours while you can. And the price will be $399.
$399. That is, you know.
Yep.
For clarity's sake, $399 USD. So we don't know what that's going to be in the other regions.
Yeah, but more likely it'll just be rate to rate, so it'll probably like €300 or something. 340.
No, it's not going to be €300. I can tell you that. I think they're gonna match it on $399.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, as has been predicted by a lot of people, is the console cannot be more expensive than the VR headset. People just won't buy it. The VR headset can't be more expensive than the console. People just won't buy it, and I get that.
Yeah.
But also something that has been announced for the PSVR, peripheral, we should say, is that, first of all, games should never dip under 60 frames per second. That is one of the guidelines that has been put out by Sony, saying that it is very important for preventing motion sickness and not breaking immersion. And there was something else that I seem to forget. God, I'm so bad at this. Well, that's basically all the news articles we have this week, and I have to apologize to anyone who's written in, if anyone, because our web mail was migrated and the messages were lost. So if you did write in and we didn't say anything about it, that's why. I'm very sorry, But this should be fixed very soon. I just have to get a new password and login for the new mailbox. So that was basically everything we had for this week.
Yeah.
So I want to bid you all a good week, and do keep on playing those games. Don't forget, you can check us out at podcast.getgaming.net. You can leave us a review on iTunes if you do so desire. We're also available on YouTube. Basically everywhere. If you want to find us, you can find us anywhere. Don't forget to join gaming.net if you really, really like this podcast. If the premise of a very open community speaks to you, whether it doesn't matter which race, age, or gender you are, if that sounds good to you, do by all means join. We have our own TeamSpeak server. You can join us there. You can sign up at the site, and you can even check my profile. I'm not sure about the other guys, but
I got a profile.
Oh, she has a profile as well. So if you want to raid anything, go raid her.
But with moderation.
With no.
Moderation.
No.
With moderation.
What's that? What's that? Can you eat that? Is that like edible or?
Yeah, you gotta explain yourself now, DJ.
Ration? What is this black magic you speak of? No, but as I said, that's all we have for this week. So you can follow me on Twitter under the name DVoice_. You can find me on PSN under DVoiceHAX. Do mention that you're from the podcast and that you know me from there, or else I'm not going to accept you. I'm very sorry. Also, twitch.tv/dvoice. If you want to see me stream every once in a while, don't do it too often. But if I find a game I really like on PS4, I will stream it. Apart from that, you guys, what about you? Tell me, where can we find you on the interwebs?
All right. Well, you can find me at SyriaXO on Twitter. And on Steam, you can find me on TheCyria. So yeah, hit me up.
Well, Facebook, all social contacts, and all social media. You can find me at Thedangspro. I stream every once in a while under the username DarkestJMR. And for any casting stuff that I kind of like to do, you can contact me via my Twitter, which is at Thedangspro.
All right. So again, we do bid you a very good week. Keep on playing those video games. Keep on listening to podcasts, especially ours, because we're just so awesome. Yeah. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye.
See you around, guys.